Hi, I'm Rachel and I love to make Canva easy. So today we're going to look at creating a logo on Canva. So there are obviously more than one way to do this on Canva, but I'm going to show you how simple it is. So the first thing we're going to do is to search for a logo. So if we search for logo, we get all of the logo templates that are on Canva, and as you can see, there are lots. So some of these are more appropriate for different types of businesses. So for example, if I was a florist that wanted a logo, let's see if I can spell florist logo. So as you can see, these are much more appropriate if I was selling flowers for a living. If we have a look for maybe a barber, let's have a look for a barber logo. And again, we can see these are much more appropriate if we had a barber shop. So there are some that are only available in the pro version, but we've got lots and lots that are available to us in the free version. So we can search for the type of logo that we want. So let's have a look for, I'm going to stick with a cake shop because I think I'd quite like to have a cake shop. So let's have a look. This one. So what we're going to do is we're going to click it to select it, and then we are going to customize this design. Okay. So as with everything on Canva, we can change all of this. So we can change what it says. So it's going to be called Rachel's Cake Shop. Rachel's Cakes. Well, just make that a little bit smaller so it fits in. We can even change the picture of the cake by going over into elements and searching for cake. Let's have a look and find a cake. So I might just go for this really simple cupcake. There we go. So there we go. Very quickly, we have used one of the Canva templates to come up with our own logo design. And I'm actually going to just change that into a bright pink just to make it a bit more fun. It's a simple way to create a logo. So we can change all of the fonts if we want to. We can change the color of the fonts. We can do whatever we want to. But we've essentially used a template to come up with something else. But what we could also do is create our own logo completely from scratch. So I've just created a second slide where we are going to create a logo from scratch. So we could base it loosely on this one if we wanted to, or we can create something completely separate. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with a frame. Now I want, or maybe this. I quite like that. So we might just stretch that a little bit. Don't know if it's saying tidy cakes really, because it's a bit of a messy frame, but bear with me. So we can change the colour of this. So maybe I would go for that pink again. Maybe I would do that. And then if we're going to stick with the cake shop thing, then let's just go back to cakes and find, oh, there we go. So let's go back to this stylized cake. So super simple. We have got a background, we've got a cake on it, and I think that black against the pink looks really good. And then I'm going to add some text onto it. So I can go over into the text button. I can either add a text box like that, or I could add a heading like that, subheading, or you get the idea. Or we can scroll down and look at these font combinations. And we can have a look and see if any of these match our visions for our business. So if it's a particularly posh cake shop, then you might have something along these lines, or this one maybe. These are quite nice. Um, these handwriting ones are nice. But you might have something a little bit more fun. So if it's kind of a quirky cake shop, then we might just call it Quirky Cakes. There we go. So again, very quickly, we have come up with a logo for our business. This time not using a template, but using the elements and building our own. So if we did decide to use this, then we can obviously change the colours. So we could change it into black if we wanted to. If you don't like the yellow outer bit, then that's an effect. So we can go into effects. Oh, it's actually green, I think. And we can change it maybe into a cream. And we'll just do that with that one as well. So let's change the black and change that into that cream. There we go. So there we go. Very quickly, we have got our Quirky Cakes logo. Super simple. We can play around a little bit with the positioning of that font if we want to. We can turn it on its side a little bit, make it even quirkier. We could add bits and pieces to it. You don't want your logo to be too fussy, because replicating it on business cards and things like that becomes a little bit complicated. And if you have any branded clothing, that it can be complicated the more detail you've got on it. Um, but you've got a super simple logo ready to go. And then all you would do is go over to share and you would just download it. So if you have the pro version of Canva, then you can use this option to download it with a transparent background. But if you've got the free version, then you don't have that option. So I hope you will have fun creating your logos, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you want to work with me further, then you can check out my website, which is www.askrachel.co.uk. See you soon.